right, hi everyone. This is Brad from Board Game Geek. I'm here with Ian from Wtiching Studios, and we love these guys from Ravenmark and a lot of other great titles. And here, you guys are here with a new game. Can you tell us a little bit about that game and maybe show us a bit?
Sure. So this is Masquerada. It is an RPG along the same veins as Dragon Age and Baldur's Gate, and we love those kind of games. So it's real time, but you can pause at any moment to give instructions to your party, and you have a party of 3. And it's called Masquerada because this is a world where the only way to use magic is to have masks. I'm going to start the game up and show you what it's like a little bit. So if you notice, the backgrounds are all hand-painted. We wanted a very comic book feel. We were very inspired by French comic book styles. So you can pause at any time and actually give instructions. And you actually can coordinate with your other party member as well. So let's say he moves over here, you unpause and they'll actually do that. So you can continue doing this if you so wish, or you can just run the game live. As my colleague likes to say, you can Diablo your way through the game if you'd like. So in this game it's very tactical. If you notice that below every character, be friend or foe, you actually see that there are rings under them, and these rings actually mean, it actually talks about how damage is dealt. Because if you see the light blue, right, that allows you to absorb all the damage to your shield. Well, on the side it only absorbs 50%, and from the back you're going to take a lot of damage. So whatever happens, try not to expose your back to the enemy. But likewise, you can actually attack the back of your enemy to create interesting strategies. We're also very big on story. So this is going to be a 15 to 20 hour single player experience, and we're going to try and get the whole game voiced as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so by that extent, we want to give a really tight, enjoyable experience versus, you know, a very large thing that does everything not so well. So we have a philosophy. We're going for combat and story. If anything doesn't serve one of those purposes, we strip it out. So this is a game that doesn't have an inventory system. There is no shopping and things like that because it doesn't serve either purpose. It doesn't add to the enjoyment of what we do. We also use a skill-based system. So we use skill points as you progress through the story, and it allows you to modify and upgrade the skills that you have. A very good example, I'll show it in a bit as you get on to the next part, is the main character Cicero Guevara over here. He has an ability to teleport, so I can actually do this and teleport him behind, and over here I can create a wall to block the enemies. Right. So if you notice, he teleported away. So as you progress with the game, you can actually modify how the skill works. So for example, you prefer a much more offensive skill. You might actually, you know, want him to teleport and have an explosion when he arrives in his location, while I might want something kind of defensive and, you know, have him freeze enemies that's next to him as he teleports away. And so, since it's a party of 3, you can create interesting combinations and certain combinations that will disable the enemies. I mean, as a party of 3, you're going to be outnumbered most of the time. So being able to, you know, control the battlefield and disable enemies is very important.
And it looks like there were NPC characters as well, so sometimes those will join you in the fight.
Some would join you in the fight, and all of them have their own backstory as well. We're very big on story. This is a world that was built a while ago. I used to run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign based off this, so I had a lot of time to stew and make sure that everything made sense before we went forward with this.
So can you, for the other characters, is it possible to set certain like programs, like certain reactions that you want them to use spells in certain situations, or?
Yes, you can. So very much like Dragon Age, we're going to have an AI system, but instead of a general character AI, what we're going to do is skill AI. So, you know, you can create situations that tells the characters that it is the best time to use their skills. So if you notice, one of the abilities is to pull all the characters into a center. So if Keldon, the guy in blue, had an ability that said that only use if 3 characters are near each other, Cicero can actually make that happen so that he will use that skill. Right? And you can actually set the priority of them as well, so that they will decide to use one thing over another thing first.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so she's been added to the party, and now we've got a party of 3.
Transitions seem pretty cool, you know, just kind of fading into the next screen. So how far along is the game, or is it...
What you're looking at is about 5 months of development. We were planning a lot longer before that, but this is really a combination of 5 months of really sit-down work. And we're hoping for a March 2016 launch.
Okay.
So we're going to be working really hard to get the content in and make everything work.
Right.
So let's do that. And
So there's hotkeys to sort of quickly switch between characters and select abilities and all that.
yep. And also, if you have a mask ability, so for example, this Cicero over here, if he uses his mask ability, it will bring down lightning on all of them.
Very cool. So do the masks also play a role in the story as well?
The mask is actually the kind of like what you really do in the story. That's kind of like what you're looking to find out. What's that all about? Because the society is so, you know, different and changed by the masks that it would be good to figure out, you know, what they're all about. Because they are just found underground in ancient ruins, but no one is quite sure what they're all about. And we're going to explore that as well. In the game, you can collect masks. I think we've got right now designed over 40 masks. So that's as close to an inventory system that we have.
Will there be any sort of multiplayer system?
No, we want to focus solely on a single player experience. We want a tight experience, and we want to tell a really good story. And I always tell my guys that if we can make someone cry, I think we've done well.
So this is more of a boss type character.
Yeah. So if you notice, if you can get him to turn around, you can actually get him to expose his back so he can do damage to his health,
Right.
bypassing armor.
So do you restore health between battles, or do you need to like drink potions and that sort of stuff?
Sorry?
Do you restore health between battles, or do you have to like use potions and other things to get back up to your full health?
We restore health between battles, and also one of the characters is a healer, so it allows you to, you know, deal with the situation at hand. There you go.
Awesome. Seems like a really great demo here, and definitely looking forward. So we're maybe next year we're thinking for.
Definitely next year. We want to show it off a lot more along the year as well. So you know, you can check us out on Facebook, you know, the whole social media thing, and we'd love to get everyone involved and hear what they have to say about what they've seen so far.
Cool. Will you think about maybe doing early access for this title?
We might. We haven't figured out how best to do it yet, because we want to make sure that the story is tight and, you know, we don't give too much spoilers out as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It looks really great. We'll look forward to it
Thank you
next
so
year.
much for dropping by.